I think timelessness doesn't mean classicism.
Okay.
It doesn't mean staying still to where you are.
Yeah.
Far from that. It means actually reinterpreting, every day and every season with a twist that feels modern and relevant.
Hello everyone, I'm Carla Buzasi, CEO of WGSN, and you're tuning in to the Lives of Tomorrow podcast. So today we're talking future consumer, but with a luxury spin on it. And to help me with this really interesting topic, I've got the CEO, Joseph, Barbara Campos. Thank you so much for joining me today. Can you just introduce yourself to our listeners, who you are and what you do?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
Lovely to be here in this beautiful scenery.
Not bad, is it?
Of Abu Dhabi. So my name is Barbara Campos. I've been the CEO of Joseph for the past 7 years. I grew my career within that industry from the first moment. Started initially with business administration studies, and then entered that creative world very early on.
Yeah.
And I haven't left the industry since. Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. Well, you preside over a beautiful, beautiful brand. I think lots of us have got long-held memories with this brand. How do you think about your future consumer? As a big topic, but if you're getting up in the morning and obviously you're thinking probably about day-to-day trading and all of those things, but how do you prepare for your future consumer?
So before I answer that, I just wanted to give a little bit of context of the brand for you listener that maybe might not know the brand. What we do at Joseph is we pride ourselves to continue to run the vision of Joseph Etegi, who was our founder, the founder of Joseph. And his vision was very much based on offering to the consumer a product that is going to complement not only her style, but also her wardrobe. Something that she needs, something that's purposeful, and something that's really also anchored in timelessness. So what we're looking for tomorrow actually is consistency. And this is, the vision that we want to continue to anchor into the future.
That's quite interesting in and of itself, because you're looking after then a legacy, a history, but also you do still need to future-proof your brand as well. So I guess that's a balance that you've got to think about pretty much every day.
Yeah, but I think timelessness doesn't mean classicism. It doesn't mean staying still to where you are. Far from that. It means actually reinterpreting, every day and every season with a twist that feels modern and relevant.
Okay. So let's come back to that original question then. You've got, I imagine, although challenge me on this, a fairly loyal client base. So people who have maybe bought Joseph for many years, and therefore they know that they're kind of creating this Joseph wardrobe. Are you thinking about how you continue to evolve your offering for that consumer, or are you thinking about which new consumers you're bringing in, or is it both?
It is both, especially nowadays. Acquiring new consumers is extremely costly for a company. And of course, who's best than your loyal customer is actually going to give you the best word of mouth, which is also, as we know, the social whispers are extremely important, especially around fashion. So keeping your loyal customer engaged, happy, informed is extremely important, and rewarded is extremely important. And in order to grow, you need to grow that customer base. So for us, it's definitely a bit of both, And
how do you, in the kind of priority list when you're thinking about that, is it marketing first? Is it product first? Is it store experience? How do you rank those in terms of importance for ensuring that both your consumer of today continues to be happy with what they get from their relationship with Joseph, but also luring in new potential product buyers?
Well, the first priority has to be the product, because this is what you sell. That's where the transaction happens.
It sounds obvious, but I wouldn't say that's necessarily how everyone thinks about it.
That's how we view it. And we really obsess about that woman, who is our consumer. We really obsess to try to understand even more who she is, behind the data that we get we have an omni-channel business, so we get a lot of data from her.
Yeah.
But through our retail stores, that also gives us an opportunity to connect on a human level, to ask questions, and really to put almost a face behind, behind
the numbers
data.
that come in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
Also to dialogue with her, to understand what she expects next, what is missing in her wardrobe, to be able to be there at the moment where she needs it.
Has that...
So to answer your question, the priority is definitely the product first.
Yeah.
But I think underneath that, they all rank in the same importance.
Okay.
The experience that you give her, that goes through service.
Yeah.
The storytelling that you bring on to her, that needs to be consistent with what you do, with what, who you are, is extremely important. That consistency into delivering then on the top of the product is extremely important.
How do you maintain that consistency then?
By making hard decisions.
Okay.
First of all, you need to know who you are as a brand, what you stand for, but particularly what you do not stand for.
Okay, that's an interesting spin on it.
And then it's about making some hard decisions. And when I say hard, it's because sometimes it's hard, like not to get into that trend that everyone is tapping into that's working really, really well.
Yeah.
But knowing who you are and what your parameters are, and staying within
the
those
lane
parameters.
That you're playing within.
Exactly, your values.
Can you give me an example of a hard decision that you've had to make? Is there a particular trend that you've seen others doing and thought, it would be great to do that, but I know it's not right for Joseph?
We have those conversations literally, with some teams, like on a seasonal basis.
Yeah.
I think I remember one particular when the Barbie movie came out, and everyone was like, a lot of collections were having, a bit of pink, and we're like, no, this is not who we are. We're not going to adopt that. Even if, commercially, like there was a momentum for it, but
you said no.
Yeah, our colors.
You did the right thing.
We're a very colorful brand, but our colors are very muted. They're not like neon or super bright.
There's pops that are coming out. So that's really interesting. Has your consumer surprised you in the past few years? Has there been a kind of evolvement that you weren't prepared for, or that you thought that she wouldn't want to buy into, whether again that was sort of from a trend perspective, product, or perhaps how she was shopping?
It doesn't surprise me, but yes, the consumer behavior is shifting.
Yeah.
It has changed. Our woman is discerning, she knows what she wants, she has an innate style, and she has some very clear expectations. But I think you see that coming through even more strongly across all generations as well.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. We've been talking quite a lot on this podcast about loyalty and how that has changed quite a lot. There's this proliferation of choice, access, visibility. Has that changed how often you interact or your consumer interacts with you, or do you think that you've done a particular job at keeping loyalty? Honest answer.
Honest answer. I want to think so. I think there's a very long-lasting relationship that some customers have actually developed with the brand, which is beautiful to see. And we've gone to a point where we wanted to talk a little bit more on a personal level with our consumer. So we did adopt a great clienteling tool, which is called Proximity. Which actually has really enabled the entire team, in store and also the digital team, to interact with the consumer on a personal level, to get to know a little bit more information about her, being able to propose something she haven't necessarily thought of, or even to engage a conversation based on the information that we get from her.
About her.
how many kids she has, and or if she has a cat, or like whatever, you know, interests are that comes up into the conversation. It's something that the store associate can actually tap back into and start having meaningful and personable conversations with the customer.
Some of the other themes that have been cropping up here at this event, but also with other CEOs who have been speaking about a lot about kind of personalization and collaboration with the consumer. Is that something that you've lent into? Can you see a place for that in the future?
It's been at Joseph something very organic. It's not you know, a defined format we're going after. But again, if you think about the foundation of this business, Joseph Ettegi himself was in his store all the time. So he used to converse with the customers all the time. And I think this has, you know, in the culture of the company, has very strongly remained. And it happens to be, you know, much more important than ever, but it's really, really ingrained into,
it's part of
into
your
the
DNA.
culture and the DNA, absolutely.
That's really interesting as well. And the other thing a topic that's kind of come up is the different service levels that are required. I think that if it's part and parcel of what you do, that doesn't feel like necessarily a new topic for you to kind of tackle. But it's also, I do think, probably more challenging now. You're hiring new people into an organization where perhaps that isn't the natural way of interacting because so much has been digitized in the past few years. Do you find that in terms of finding great store associates and managers for your stores, that it's easy to find people who want to have that kind of in-person relationship, or is that something you're also having to teach?
I think it's part of the training. You know, for some people it's very innate. To be sociable and chatty, and for some other people they can be great,
sort of natural.
They can be great advisors in terms of look and in terms of what, you know, what you're looking for. They will be very helpful, but they're not necessarily very chatty. So it's part of the training, definitely.
Right, I'm going to pause the questions. There are more questions, but much more about you now. So these are quick fire, first thing that comes into your head.
Okay.
What did you say you wanted to be when you grew up?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I wanted to be a fashion designer.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I ended up working in fashion from the beginning. But I did not have clearly the technical skills to be a fashion designer. But my brain is very creative. Despite all the analytic side. So that was just a perfect
fit
industry for me.
Amazing. What's your most frequently used app?
With no doubt, WhatsApp.
Okay.
Obviously, it has evolved from being just friends and family to even
like a
business
work tool now.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Well, certainly here at the conference we're in, I'm swapping more WhatsApp QR codes with people than I am LinkedIn or anything like that. So you're right. Favorite AI tool?
Oh, it has to be ChatGPT.
We've had quite a few different answers, so not everyone's saying that. What's the song you've currently got on repeat?
Oh, I'm gonna disappoint you. None at the moment.
Okay.
Music for me is really associated to relaxation. You know, I listen to a lot of music when I travel for leisure, like for holidays, when I'm on holiday.
Clearly hasn't been enough of that recently.
So maybe I should book something. You know, it's more podcasts and information as much as I can. So no music on repeat for the moment.
And what was the last thing you ticked off your bucket list?
It was last year. It was, I wanted to take my mum away for a mother-daughter trip to celebrate her 80th birthday. And I said, where do you want to go in the world? And she said, oh, I've always loved to go to India. So we did an amazing trip across India. It was fantastic.
That's so
it's a country that I personally love. I've been there many times. I absolutely love the culture, the heritage, and being able to share that with her and to guide her through.
Had she never
been? She's never been before.
I love that.
So
that's so
she absolutely loved it.
I took my mum for her 70th to Marrakesh, and she'd always wanted to go to Marrakesh.
There you go.
And my father, foot down, did not want to go, so I took her. It was not a long trip. It was a long weekend, but we had a lovely time.
It's so nice, right?
Something
to share
really
those moments,
special.
those experiences.
I love that. Okay, looking towards the future, what's your prediction for how the luxury consumer is going to evolve?
It has already changed a lot.
Okay. So do you think we're living within that period of change at the moment?
Yeah, we're living in that period of change where luxury used to be all about, you know, a price point, a status symbol, an exclusivity kind of things, to actually luxury being today a feel-good experience.
Yeah.
And wherever, you know, you find that luxury, it can be, you know, a 5+ stars hotel, it can be a first-class seat on an airline, it can be a fine dining restaurant, or it can be a garment.
Yeah.
And I think that garment then needs to feel, to give you that experience of feel good, you know, like a perfect, natural material, perfect, that feels really good on your skin. The perfect cut that flatters your silhouette, all of that things I think comes into play also in fashion.
I think the tactility, we've got one of our future consumer forecasts for 2028 is a persona called the restorer. And a lot of that, especially when it comes to product, is the consumer that's looking for calmness in their life and feeling restored, as the name comes to it, and making sure that the fabrics are going to give them that emotional feeling as well in a tumultuous world where a lot is out of our control, the feeling that those product choices we make are kind of nourishing. Nourishing might be a weird word when we're talking about fabric, but something that...
Oh, it is. It envelopes you, you know, it gives you like that sentiment of cocooning and of confidence as well. You know, when you have to go to a meeting and you're like, oh, today I don't feel like it. You know, it's a serious meeting, it's a business meeting. You put on a beautifully tailored blazer that fits well, that's good on your skin. Well, this is it. You're ready.
You're ready.
You know.
Yes.
So I think that's an important component, but also service is, I think, is going to continue to evolve into the luxury, you know, arena and what consumer expect from luxury.
So how are you preparing for that side of things? I mean, I think on the fabric side, you've probably got that nailed, but in terms of the service side and that expectation that just keeps on going up and up, are you having to invest in different ways? Are you having to think about the store experience in different ways?
Yeah, totally. Always. We developed a new store concept 3-4 years ago, where we actually really wanted an environment that feels warm, that feels inviting, not intimidating. And that feels almost like when you close the door, you know, you leave the hustles and bustles of the street outside, and you enter in a calm and muted environment that's textured, but also that let the product talk.
Kind of speak for itself as well. I think that is because so many of the conversations I'm having around this, there's a lot about the in-store experience. Every time you answer a question, you use the word product. And you use that in the, you know, that first answer in terms of the product comes first. And I would say that's quite unique in the conversations I'm having at the moment.
Oh, really? That's surprising to me.
And it doesn't mean that product isn't coming into it, but the activation, the community that people are creating, lots of those things, maybe they feel more exciting to talk about, but there's something very strong, I think, that's coming over in the conversation with you that, you know, if you get the product right, if you highlight the product in the right way, then probably a lot of those other parts will fall into place, maybe.
Yeah, and we also, in times where people are asking for more authenticity, more transparency, and I think that's probably, you know, why Joseph resonates with the customer in those moments, because we were talking about us dialoguing with them earlier, but equally we dialogue with our customers through, you know, our storytelling, and we talk about our craftsmanship, we talk about who is behind the brand, we talk about, you know, we tell them the story of who we are, like very genuinely.
And do you find that people are, I mean, I love the word storytelling, and I think it gets used in very, very different ways, but the story that you're kind of crafting around that, is it a kind of balance between the heritage? Is it about how that product's being created? When you think about storytelling, what does that mean for you?
Yeah, it means definitely craftsmanship. Because this is such an important value and component in this brand. You know, we put so much emphasis into all the little seams, the little details, the weight of a button, you know, how the garment falls on the body. We need to talk about that. You know, our customers need to understand.
How much thought has gone into that.
Exactly, the purpose. Every brand, obviously, through storytelling, has to talk about, you know, who they are, what they feel strong about, they value what they stand for. And for us as Joseph is exactly what you described.
Yeah.
You know, it's about craftsmanship, it's about talking about our heritage, and making sure the customer that knows us feel reassured by that, and the one that doesn't know us then discover us through that lens.
Okay, last question. Are you more anxious or hopeful about the future?
I am always hopeful.
Okay.
But I have to say, with all the turbulences that are happening at the moment, I would lie if I would say I never worry.
Yeah.
I do worry, but I also try to keep a balance between the level of information that I get and also my personal sanity, you know, a way to
otherwise
have
you would
my
never
mind.
sleep.
Well, yeah, and also you might get, you know, some negativity coming into your life, which I try not to. I think, I'm fundamentally a positive person, and I really try to manage that to continue to stay.
Thank you
positive.
so much. I would love to talk to you for longer, but someone's going to throw us
have a drink
any minute now. Thank you all for tuning in. This was Live Stream Tomorrow from Abu Dhabi in very hot temperatures. Barbara's been very patient. I'm going to go and wave her down now, but I'll be back in a couple of weeks' time.